I think we just start over. That was wild. What is up, y'all? Welcome back. I kicked this video off way too high key. I came in way too hot and I just don't think that I can keep the momentum. So I'm bringing it down a notch. Today it's going to be a trying new makeup video and I've got a bunch of exciting stuff that has found its way to me recently. First, I know we've already reviewed this. This is the Glossier Stretch Foundation, but Glossier reached out to me and sent me more shades because the first one that I reviewed was too dark for me, or kind of like on the line of being too dark for me. So I have here Very Light 3. We will see how this works, and if it doesn't work, they sent me an even lighter one, so that's exciting. Also, Koki Cosmetics, the only drugstore brand who knows who I am, sent me some concealers. They just very occasionally send me PR.
Okay, hi, hey, I have to pop in here as I'm pulling the images for this video because when you see me swatch these to shade match myself a little bit later on in the video, you'll see me kind of assume that this must be a huge shade range because so many of these are so light and so close to each other and seem to be likely to match my skin tone. And seeing the reality of this shade range is mind-blowing, especially for a drugstore brand. Like, this is not good.
Yeah, so this is the Doubletime Full Cover Concealer Smoothing Long Wear. Hopefully those two work together okay. And then I have this huge PR package that's, I mean, it's huge, from Bobbi Brown. This is what got delivered when someone rang my doorbell in my last video. There was alcohol in this. I didn't drink it, I just took it out, but it's still so heavy. Like, I think that if I keep like removing layers of this, there's still more makeup underneath. I don't know if that's true, but it's really heavy. They send all kinds of stuff. It's like the entire line of their matte lipsticks, holiday sets, which look incredible, some eyeshadow sticks, which I love. And also, I think the main thing that I'm gonna be using that they sent to me today is the Luxe Cheek and Highlight Palette in Rose Glow. It looks gorgeous. So we'll open this together. And then on my eyes, I feel like we didn't do proper justice to these Surratt Souffle eyeshadows. And this shade right here, Ciel, Dore, it's a game changer for me. It's just really, really easy. I'm not sure if this is gonna be the only thing I put on my eyes today, but it's going to, hopefully I'm gonna try and make it the main character. I think that that's it. It's been a long week, but a good week. I met Lisa Eldridge yesterday. I'll talk about that in a minute. Like, it's been a really interesting week. Like, there's just been a lot, but I am going to refer back to some more of the questions that I got from y'all before the last Get Ready With Me, because there were plenty, and we're just gonna chill and put on some makeup, and I'll have some final thoughts for you at the end. So let's go ahead and jump in. So yeah, I asked for silly, goofy questions. There are still plenty to go through. Oh, and they're gonna be good, I can already tell. So I've already tried and reviewed the Glossier Foundation, right? And I will say, the reason that I'm kind of re-reviewing it is because sometimes a shade match can make all the difference in terms of my opinion on something. You just interact with the foundation differently when the shade is really good versus something you're kind of working against. But I feel equipped enough that I'm comfortable using a primer underneath it. I don't feel like it's gonna like totally change my opinion of it, you know? This is only good things can happen here. So I'm gonna go with the Glow Lust again from Auric. This is on Beautylish now, which is pretty cool. I mean, not that like you couldn't just buy it, but like I'm sure that there are markets that didn't have access to Sam's website before, and now they can buy this because Beautylish just serves a larger amount of the world, right? Right? I don't know. Am I making that up? Kind of. Skin prep is everything. That was something that we discussed yesterday. So I had quite a time getting into the city yesterday. There were like these nefarious happenings that made my train get delayed indefinitely at the station that I would usually take a train from. And so I had to kind of call an audible and drive to Jersey City. I love all of you, even if you live in Jersey City, but my God, at least where the PATH station is, Jersey City is a nightmare. It's like so hard to get around. It was just, I felt like such a country mouse. I drove there and I parked at the PATH station fully thinking that I was going to take the PATH into town, but I have no sense of direction and I knew I needed to get to Hotel Chelsea. So I just grabbed a Lyft to drive me there, and they had given me a Lyft credit. Thank you, you know, for the event. And that was really nice. So I did get to the Hotel Chelsea with like 10 minutes to spare somehow. You know, no stress at all, right? I mean, it was me, Radiohead, and Rainbows, just like, we gotta get to Jersey City. Like, It was a lot. So anyway, I'm going to go in with the Glossier here. Ooh, that does look like a better shade match. Much better. Let's see. I'm gonna apply it with a brush because I couldn't be you-know-whatted to dampen a sponge. So I will use my handy dandy little brush here from It Cosmetics. Beep, bop, boop, bop. Yes, quite light, but that's okay. Better than too dark. And so I get to the event and I'm in the lobby. I only had to wait for a few minutes, and it was me and two other people who got to meet Lisa. We were in like 45-minute meeting slots, right? And the other two people were not creators. Well, I mean, one is a creator, but not primarily. He is a facialist and works for Dore and stuff, and he was just absolutely lovely. This is quite light. I'm surprised. I guess my face is a little bit red right now, but like this kind of feels like a big jump between this and, oh, I have very light 2. I wonder, or sorry, I have light 2 and this is very light 3. I wonder if light 1 would have been better, but like I think light 1 is a different undertone. Either way, it's gonna work. It'll be fine. The other person was a journalist. And so they were less familiar with Lisa's line than I am. Of course, I'm quite fluent in her line and I still learned a lot going in there. And we go into this beautiful suite, the Hotel Chelsea, and it's all outfitted to just gorgeousness, right? I hardly used any. I'm not even gonna use that. It smells wonderful. There's this candle in there that I like immediately started obsessing about from And Other Stories. As soon as I see Lisa, she is just as excited to see me as I am to see her. Like, it was like the most humbling experience. It's like, you don't understand, you're my hero. And she's just like, oh my God. And I was like, oh my God. I like gave her this big hug. It was incredible. And so, yeah, it was like in between her telling us all of these really fascinating stories about how she formulated all of her products and giving everybody a tour of all of the formulas and us getting to like, you know, touch everything, which I had really touched just about everything, but I have nuance in terms of like colors and stuff. You know, every once in a while we're just kind of like veering off in conversation talking about like color theory and frustrations around shade ranges and like, you know, undertone matches and things like that, because we both have the really like trained color eyes, like tetrachromacy or whatever. I don't know confirmed if I do, but I'm pretty sure I do. We even talked about tetrachromacy at one point. And yeah, it was just like, she's the easiest person to be around. She's the easiest person to be around. She's so nice. Like, she's just really personable and really like passionate about what she's doing. She's like not a pretentious molecule in her body. So fun, just so fun and so easy and so light, and just I was like having the best time. So it was only 45 minutes, and so at the end I'm just like, can we take a picture? And then I immediately posted it to Instagram. I was just like, I didn't like mark the location or anything like that because I was like, I know I'm posting this like really sudden, like immediately, but it was the best. And then I had to hop in a lift, get back to Path, get back in my car, drive back from Jersey City and pick my kid up from daycare. So it was a whirlwind of a day. And we did end up coming home with, you know, little goodie bags, but the main thing that it had in it that I didn't already have is her cleanser and her really cool like exfoliating towel, which are lovely, but they're not really for a makeup tutorial, that's all. So that is a much better shade match now that I've got it on. And the luminosity and everything that's also coming from the Glow Lust, so bear that in mind. But as I suspected, used so much less of it than I did in my first review of it, because when it's a better shade match, you don't have to put as much on. It can make a huge difference, but it still does feel quite dewy. Like, it feels kind of wet, and that was my main concern about it the first time, is just that like it is a foundation version of the stretch concealer in the sense that it's kind of dewy and it's just kind of like mobile. That's just how it feels. It just kind of feels mobile on the skin. Okay, I'm gonna swatch these Kokie concealers here. They all look like they could work. This must be a massive shade range. Like, these are all so similar in a good way. Do you know what I mean? That was something that me and Lisa talked about. We're like, the colors are too saturated. Same thing that Hannah always laments about trying to find shade matches for her, is that when you get into really light shades, they don't know to desaturate the undertones. And so there's all these lines coming out lately, like the Natasha Denona one and the, you know, House Labs foundation, that I always complain. It's like, you know, people's skin tones aren't pink. People's skin tones aren't yellow. They're like skin tone plus an undertone, but like, especially when you get into those really fair shades, you end up with these like ice cream colors that are not human skin tones. And then the same goes for when you get into the deep skin tones, everything's just like honey and red, you know, and there's like not a lot of nuance. So that was something that we conversed about. It was actually cool because we had like all of her foundations in front of us, and you just start to realize like how well informed her shade range is. Like that foundation shade range, it's really, really well done. It like doesn't get the credit it deserves. Okay, so we have Fair Ivory, Fair Neutral, Light Sand, and Light Tan. I think we're gonna go with this one. I think we're gonna go with Fair Neutral, which makes sense, doesn't it? And again, I don't have a sponge dampened, so we're just gonna do this with a brush. And I have no idea the concentration of this pigment, so I'm not gonna apply a whole bunch all at once. Let's do a question. The first question I have here is actually the last question because it's in reverse order. Why, oh why is Glossier always stuck in the same color story? That's why I laughed when I opened up the prompts, is because, gosh, I agree. And like, I understand that there are a lot of people who are glad that Glossier doesn't change their color story because it works for them. Like if it works for you, then why would you want it to change, kind of thing. But I have always, I mean, since day one of being with Glossier, been frustrated by their choices because everything goes just too. The pinks are too pink and the browns are too red, orange. And every time I complain about that, without fail, someone in my comments, because you know what? Like, it's a wide world of people out there. Of course it's gonna please people. Like, I'm glad that it does. But there are tons of people out there who are like, yes, I can't find these shades elsewhere. So what feels so run-of-the-mill and like not useful to me is actually really useful to some people. I think that that is an okay shade match. You know, I mean, it's a little light. I think it's a great undertone match, but it's a little bit light. So we'll keep going with Fair Neutral. And grab another question. I mean, the real answer to your question is, I think it's because it works for some people, but I side with you on that one. I feel the same way. What's the funniest thing Simon does that makes you melt instantly? I think it's just that like when you finally figure out that like what they really want is you, and so even when they're upset, they still want you. Even if they're mad at you, they still want you. It's the sweetest thing in the world because like he'll be upset and you'll go, do you want to cuddle? And he'll go, yeah! I have this like crying child who's so mad at me and he just wants to cuddle with me, you know? Or like when I'm putting him in the car, like his dad takes him in the morning to daycare. I put him in the car and he'll be upset or whatever and he'll just grab my whole head. Just like hug me. And he'll hug me and he'll kiss me and then he wants a high five. And those are the big three. This is not kidding around, this full coverage. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to wipe my lips off, looking a little bit mannequin-y. Gosh, that is light. That is light. What do I look like? Whatever it is, it's not good. That's so light. Wow. Okay, let's hit it with a little bit of Fix Plus here. Break it down a little bit, and I will cave in and dampen a damn sponge. That's what I'm gonna do. I don't feel like that's Koki's fault. I feel like I applied too much by accident because, oh, okay, well that's just gonna take it all off. Look, I just took it all off of my chin. We're gonna be kind of starting from scratch down there. This is all fixable. We're gonna go with a different color. We're gonna go with Light Sand. That still looks really freaking light. Maybe we go with the Light Tan. I don't know. I thought that Light Tan was gonna, I don't know. It looked like it was kind of almost oxidizing on me. No. I have goofed. I can't remember the last time this happened. Hold please. So two big problems, right? One, I am a huge perfectionist about the shade matching, especially when I have so many shades at my disposal. I'm not just gonna push through when something's not working, but also I'm working with a bunch of unfamiliar textures and the coverage level just got out of hand. So I put some more of the Glow List on. I put some more of the foundation on. I am gonna go with Light Tan. Really? And just see, because like maybe I'm wrong. Like maybe Light Tan is the one. It looks so yellow and it looks so dark, but let's see. Y'all, if I'm Light Tan, are you kidding me? This is a first for me. I've never been called Light Tan in my entire life, but here we are. I am Light Tan, fam. Okie dokie. There, okay, I guess I'm Light Tan, whatever. I've been wrong before. Not sure how I'm feeling about the formula itself. It is being a little bit finicky, but we'll see. It's almost like it's matte, and so it's not wanting to cooperate with my dewier things that I'm trying to put it with, but who knows. So anyway, wow, Bobbi Brown. What That is so beautiful how that hits the light. What? Gorgeous on the outside. And then here we have a bronzer, a blush, and a highlight on the inside. Let's swatch them. My goodness, they're like that baked formula that's so smooth on the top, and then I'm sure when they go on, they are also incredibly smoothing. There are our shades. That is nice. I don't know if there are more than one of these, you know, for different skin tones. But let's start with the bronzer. I don't want to powder first. I don't want to. That's my kid's new thing. I don't want to. Favorite potato? Oh God, what a great question. I'm going to go in with my Sephora 50 brush. Start with the bronzer. Well, I do call Simon potato because when babies are small and you're like handing them off at daycare at like 5 months, you really just feel like you're handing someone a potato. You're just like, buy a potato, and then you come back and get your potato, you know? Other than that, y'all, I will never say no to a French fry. I will never say no to a French fry. At this place in Austin, their main thing is that they like put everything on this deep fried potato shredded patty thing. It's incredible. It's like super, super shredded potato that they turn into a patty that's like crispy. It's not like a latke, and it's round, and then they serve, you know, a Benedict on top of it. Really like those. I know they have a name. Do I know what it is? Absolutely not. My brain is filled with the names of makeup products. My favorite type of potato? I love a fingerling. Love a fingerling potato. It's a little bit bronzy for me. Do you know what I mean? In terms of, you probably don't. In terms of winter skin, it's giving it's like almost orange, and like I don't want it to be orange, but I think with some contour, which is not in this palette, we will be able to arrive someplace that makes visual sense, but like really, really nice. I love these kinds of formulas. They feel like they're hard panned, like right when you get them, and like they can be almost misleading, but like there is a Charlotte Tilbury palette like this, there's a Beauty Pie palette like this, and it really results in something incredibly smoothing. So let's go with the blush now. I'm just gonna use the other side of this brush as if that's some kind of scientific solution. And I'm just gonna use the pinky pink here. Do I think that this is, if this is their only one that they're doing, you know what I mean? It did have a shade on it, so I think maybe there's more than one. But if this is the only one, I will say that this is, you know, specifically for medium skin tones. I would not prescribe this to Hannah. It would be too dark for Hannah and too orange for Hannah. And it would be, you know, not very accommodating to deeper skin tones. I would say I would be like the lightest person that you'd want to put it on, and then, you know, through to like medium. But like also I think that highlighter is way too dark for someone like Hannah. It might be too dark for me. But these are really, really easy to work with. They're very functional colors. Everything in this has a little bit of a, not a glow, but just a really beautiful smooth radiance to it. And so I find it very easy to just kind of get carried away. Let's grab a smaller brush of some ilk. This is usually what I put my contour on with. We will do it anyway. This is the highlight, and I do fear that it is a little bit blushy, so I'm not going to apply it like on my lip or anything like that, because when I swatched it, it's a color, you know? And it's a color that is not my skin tone, so I'll wear it as kind of a blushy highlight. It's very pretty, but it's too gold for me to use as like an illusion, you know? And I do feel like, I don't know, like sometimes it like exaggerates. I don't know. Makes it look like it's almost like dragging my cheek down a little bit. All highlighters, that's why I don't really use a lot of highlighters, is because I feel like they sort of distort it in a weird way. It's probably just something only I notice. Let me know if that makes sense to you though. Krispy Kreme or Dunkin'? Yeah, Krispy Kreme. Sorry, not sorry, Krispy Kreme. All right, let's talk about eyes. I have here, I will go ahead and swatch all three of them again in case you didn't watch that last video. Also, I really like this contrast right here. I want you to know it's driving me crazy too, but we're gonna get all of my eye look on first, and then I'll go in and like blur it with some powder and stuff. Like don't worry, it's bugging me too. But I'm gonna swatch all three of these Surratt Souffle eyeshadows, and then I'm going to probably apply one of them. So since the last time I tried them, I will amend my first impression of the texture. It feels like a frog. It feels like you are rubbing an amphibian. That's funny. But I like it. It's something that makes Home Mess Tom, acutely uncomfortable. But we go into a long thing in our upcoming episode of the podcast about how Tom does not like the texture of Jell-O or anything gelatinous, and we all have our things. You know, my kid is obsessed with stickers right now. I hate stickers so much. I hate stickers so much. And he knows it, and he loves to drive me crazy with it. So anyway, this is Pluie Mauve. The next one is Ciel Dore, and then this one is Matin Vert. That is what they look like. And they are some of the most uncomplaining textures on the skin, as long as you get them on, because they dry. And when they dry, they're done. So I'm going to start with Ciel Dore and see if I want to put other eye makeup on, but like the thing I want to know here is like, is this a one and done? Because I've been super excited to try it that way. It looks like, I mean, yes, it's shimmery, but it looks like, actually it's not. It's like satin. It's beautiful. I'm gonna finish this sentence now. It looks like the base color in Space Cowboy. Uh-oh, don't do that, don't do that. You know, Space Cowboy by Urban Decay, the famous wet look eyeshadow. So it almost just wants to lend itself to that in my mind, you know, just go from there. Yeah, no, that's like everything. Do-do-do-do-do, yep, all the way out. I don't care, it doesn't matter because it's so close to my skin tone that you can just be kind of reckless with it. Yep, that is my new favorite one and done eyeshadow, because that is actually the definition of a one and done eyeshadow to me, is that you can truly just smash it onto your eye. And like, that's it. And I think that the efficacy of a one and done eyeshadow is very dependent on how close it is to your skin tone. Because if it's not close to your skin tone, then it's a lot of effort. You know, the higher the contrast, the more effort it is to get it to blend. So let's turn that light down. Wow. Wow, that's so pretty. Good grief. And it's gonna dry down totally and completely. I do wonder if we put powder on top of it to accentuate the crease, or if we do cream, or if we just do another one of them. I don't really know. I think Pluie Mauve maybe, but like she's got a lot of glitter. Like it's got like green glitter in it. I don't know if that's like the poison I'm here for today. What if we just try one of the Bobbi Brown eyeshadow sticks? I think that that's the answer because they're really subtle. Ooh, there's mascara in here too. We have taupe and cinnamon here, which I think are going to lend themselves beautifully to this look. And then soft bronze, mulberry, and moonstone. Moonstone is also going to come in handy because it has shimmer to it. So let's go ahead and do moonstone there on the inner corner just to kind of like finish out the texture. I'll swatch all these in a second. Taupe is going to be, ooh, actually, you know what? Everything is leaning so kind of like pink in this look. I'm not sure I want to go with taupe. I think I might just want to go with cinnamon because cinnamon has a little bit more rosiness to it. Yeah, you see that? I think that that's gonna be better. Yep. And you would just wanna stay tonal because then you don't have to work against all that contrast. So I'm gonna take one of Angie's brushes, synthetic, but function really beautifully. Oh, wait, no, okay. I do have to do this, but I have a whole bunch of Rephr brushes. I have to do this while it's still, you know, before it dries. But I was gonna use Rephr brushes. I brought them in here with me. I do love the Singe Beauty brushes, I do. Y'all have been asking me to try Rephr for so long because I only have ever used synthetic brushes, and so these are actual natural hair brushes made in Japan. They're absolutely beautiful. And they actually just reached out and shot my shelf and they were like, do you want some stuff? And I was like, yes, I do. So let's try this. Let's take a little bit of taupe and just see if I can kind of add the right amount of coolness. Yeah, right on top of cinnamon. Get a nice little blend out of that. So natural bristle brushes are going to pick up and lay down more product basically. It's gonna take a little getting used to probably for me. They feel nice. They do really want to spread the product around more though. You know what I mean? Like they don't fluff it as much. It's kind of harder to get like a softened edge. So I'm using the side of the brush instead. But that's nice. I'm gonna actually grab a little bit just off there. Yeah, it's almost just less precise. Like I need to use a teeny tiny one, and fortunately they let me pick a lot, so I will grab a teeny tiny one here. Yeah, it's a great little pencil brush. It's like you kind of have to be a little bit more decisive about the precision because it's going to lay down more product. Oh, that's nice. So that was cinnamon and taupe in the Bobbi Brown and Ciel Dore. I'm gonna do a little more Ciel Dore though. Very nice. Like I feel very confident using these little guys. They just very reliably lay the product down in a nice way. Cool. Okay, let me swatch the Bobbi Brown ones for you real quick. Oh, taupe is, taupe is really pretty. It reminds me of pecan quite a bit. So I will put pecan right next to it from Victoria Beckham. Pretty similar, but a little bit lighter. The little blob is Victoria Beckham. You know, science. And then we have cinnamon, which I just used. Ooh, so yeah, it's almost like pecan is right between cinnamon and taupe. Then we have moonstone, which is kind of an outlier. I'll put it up here because it's a shimmer, but it's a really pretty champagne shimmer. Yeah, I'm not loving the highlight kind of in this portion of my face right now. Then we have Libre. Ooh, also shimmery. Y'all know I'm not a huge shimmery eyeshadow stick person, just as a rule. I just find that it's not a particularly good kind of meeting between a pigment idea and a formula in any brand. And then we have soft bronze, which is also shimmery. These are some really useful shades. This is a great little set and it comes with a mascara, so that's pretty good. The eye situation has gotten a little out of hand. It's a lot more depth than I was intending for, and so I'm gonna grab a little bit more of Ciel Dore here, and I will show you kind of what the flexibility here is, because it's like I can kind of take that and smooth it over everything else, and it brightens it back up, but I feel like I don't have to be precise at all, you know? So I'll take that brush. This is the 15 brush from Rephr, and just make sure that, you know, I'm blending everything together. I think the Rephr brushes are gonna be good for me. I like that. I have an even bigger, fluffier one right here. This is the 01. And I think what I wanna do is just make sure that everything is really blended at the edges. There's nothing on this, you know? I just wanna like make sure that there's no hard lines, especially since we're working with so much shimmer, and am I the most diligent person in the world about tweezing my eyebrows? No, you know? Something underneath needs to be like blended better, but also I think the Victoria Beckham is gonna really help, but I wonder if I dip this brush in here, if it'll pick up any product. Ooh, it does. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, okay. The Surratt picks up on a brush really, really well. It's not just a fingers only kind of thing. Okay. Rephr brushes, first impression, absolutely fantastic. Just really, really easy. Like, there's a little bit of learning curve because they're gonna pick up more product, like I said, but it just, the whole process just feels really intuitive. All right, I did get a Rattly Natalie size in the Rephr, so let's use that to apply my Victoria Beckham bronzing brick underneath my eye, which is how I typically kind of like set my under eye, because then we lose that annoying socket contrast. So much better. Okay. A little bit of the Givenchy powder, I think. Just on my like jaw and stuff. Same brush. I'm not fussy, she says, being extraordinarily fussy. A little bit of that on kind of the inner corner as well. Brighten everything up a little. And then we just need a little bit of contour because right now everything is very the same color. And so in order to remedy that and make everything look a little bit more real and believable to the eye, you just need a little bit of a cool tone, you know? Film Star Bronze and Glow. Boop, 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 boop. On my Angie Hot and Flashy A507. Work that all the way around the border of my hairline, just to kind of make sure that it's not that glowing ridge, you know? All of these things are distracting to the eye. Using the heel of the brush right underneath my lip there. All depends on your face shape. Pulling a little bit of it up out of the eye look and into my temple, just so that it's like even less makeup-y, you know? I'm gonna do brows, you know, in the spirit of Koki. Is this blonde? Yeah, I'm gonna use the blonde brow pencil from Koki. And I haven't penciled my brows in ages, but I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna use medium brown from Kosas here, some clear brow gel. Maybe I'll go with this Bobbi Brown mascara. And then also Rephr sent me an eyelash curler, so I will try that as well. Maybe it will be even better than the Surratt one. 20% off, site-wide right now. Victoria Beckham. it takes that long for me to put my mascara on. Like that was like kind of tedious. You know what I'm gonna say when this, we're gonna put on a little bit more blush and we might even put on a little more bronzer, okay? Okay. Blush, 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 blush. We might not even need bronzer if I get enough blush on. Where is the blush? It is a slow build. I will say that this is some like beginner friendly stuff here. Like if you want to get somebody something that's like a set, like you can't, it's really hard to get carried away with this. It's very beginner friendly in that sense. A little frustrating for those of us who are really over here trying to build a product, but I will say it looks nicer in person than it does on camera. I feel like it's a little washed out on camera, but it looks nice. So now, y'all, I'm going to put all of these, because there are 12 of them, all these lipsticks in a reel on Instagram of me actually doing the mouth swatches. I am not about to swatch 12 of them on my arm. I'm just not gonna do it. You know, go follow me on Instagram. At Hey Kagi. I'm going to peruse here until I find something that's not red. A lot of them are red, a lot. There, maybe that's the ticket. Parkside, 138. Oh yeah, look at that. I mean, it's still gonna be impact, but I think it's the right amount of neutrality. Wow, those are matte. They're not unscented, but they smell like essential oil. On top of the lip balm, it's kind of taking the edge off the matte, I think, but what an unbelievable color. In the case of a higher contrast lip, I always want to make sure I clean up a little bit here. That's very, very wearable in terms of a contrast lip, okay? Let's do a setting mist here, and then we will chat final thoughts on all this stuff, because I have quite a few to offer you. MAC Fix Plus is that girl, always. Okay, let's start with the Glossier foundation. I'm not sure that my opinion has necessarily changed, other than to say that like I think it's more wearable when you wear less of it, but it's kind of also hard to say because I ended up wiping so much of it off because the concealer ended up being such an issue. But like, it's very pretty, and I can understand now how people are finding it to work well for them, because if you get a really good shade match in it, which I do feel like at the end of the day, the very light 3 shade is a good shade match for me, that you're not gonna be wearing as much as I was wearing in the original review. We knew that this would happen, and it does perform better when you wear less of it. I think I moved from like a lukewarm review to a like, yeah, no, that is a pretty good foundation kind of thing, but I'm still gonna recommend the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Serum over this, just in terms of what it achieves. I just think that this is a longer wearing, like higher performing formula. Yikes, I don't really know about these concealers. I think they're not for me, because they're pretty matte. The thing about a matte finish is not just that it's a matte finish, it's that it also typically has kind of oil control components to it, and it just behaves differently. It will kind of cling on dry skin, and it doesn't want to interact very well with other products that are on my skin that are for dry skin kind of thing. And so I don't really know if I have a, you know, up or down on this, other than to say that it's not for my skin type. But I would recommend going and finding a review from a creator who has an oilier skin type and, you know, prefers that finish to tell whether it's like actually good. All the Bobbi Brown stuff is very good. I feel like the things that they do, I think that most brands, the things that they put out around the holidays are extraordinarily user-friendly, like stocking stuffer type gifts, where it's like you're already buying makeup for someone, which is going on a leap of faith regardless. You're like, I'm buying someone else's makeup. That's so personal. So this really hits the marks in terms of that, because it's really beginner friendly, and it's for a medium skin tone, a light to medium skin tone, which we learned today I'm light tan apparently. This is a crowd pleaser. Do you know what I mean? It's easy to use. It's not low pigment, but it's that baked formula that doesn't go on really heavily all at once. It's the opposite of dusty. And the colors just, you know, they work really well, and the component is impressive. Like, you open that up and it's just dazzling, right? So that's what they're trying to accomplish. They're not trying to break new ground here. Around the holidays, that's really not what people are typically trying to do, like brands. They're not putting out things that are trying to break new ground. They're trying to put out things that are like classics, that are giftable. And this is a classic that's giftable. And this is an incredible set. This is just really useful, right? Especially if you're looking for user-friendly shades. Like, a lot of times when you're navigating a brand like Bobbi Brown that just has so much, it's tough to know necessarily what they would pick for you in terms of like a really easy to wear collection of colors. I will say, I will use the mattes in this and probably not the shimmers, you know? So it's not necessarily the most like valuable thing for me as a makeup consumer, but if these colors appeal to you, this is a great value, you know? Because these are really high quality products. It's just good. I can't really speak to the mascara other than it didn't really build as quickly as I wanted it to, so I would probably pick a different one. And you know, I'm not a non-tubing formula fan typically. It'll probably smudge on me and whatnot, so I don't know. We'll see, but it's not blowing my mind, right? The lipstick, gorgeous. I'm loving it actually. I was expecting it to be way more matte than this, and it's actually so beautiful. I am not dreading the swatching video that may or may not happen. I'm like overcommitting myself right now, but I want to do it. But I'm not dreading it anywhere near as much as I thought I was going to. I thought it was going to go on like a shellacking and like dry down, and it's actually really comfortable. I mean, yeah, I put on a little bit of lip balm first, but I feel like it's pretty creamy. Like it's a pretty creamy formula. It's very, very easy to wear. It's very comfortable, and the colors are gorgeous. If you're looking for a red, they have a lot of nuanced reds. I think that there's kind of something for everybody in there. So definitely check those out. I really like them. And there's no like lingering fragrance. It doesn't feel like an added fragrance. It feels like there's just like maybe some kind of oil in it that has a natural like smell to it. And then we have the Surratt Souffle eyeshadows. Are all of these colors for me? Not necessarily, especially because I feel like this lends itself really well, like the actual formula lends itself really well to being a one and done, you know, just like slap it on kind of thing, but it does pick up on a brush. It's like a very effective formula for something that I've literally never felt before these products arrived in my possession. So it picks up on a brush, it picks up on your finger. It's just really, really unusual. It will crease eventually. Like I had a day yesterday and there were other things underneath it that I put it on top of and like probably didn't, you know, help with the non-creasing of it all, but it takes a really long time for it to crease. Okay. And it's especially if you're working with something this close to your skin tone as this is to mine, the creasing is going to be so minimal. You're probably not even going to notice it. And by the time it's creased, the rest of your makeup's done too. It's makeup. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not supposed to like stay the same all the time forever. I don't necessarily think that like you need to buy more than one of these. I mean, obviously you don't need to buy any of them, but this color is so intuitive for me to be able to slap on my eyeballs. It's like one of those things that when you're like running for refuge, like your eye look is just not working and you're running for cover. For my complexion, this is me running for cover, okay? Like that's my ideal color, and I do think that it is the like base color of Space Cowboy. So if you have Space Cowboy and you're like, oh, that beige is just really great, it like blends right into my skin, Ciel Dore. Absolutely, like big, big fan. And I have 15% off from them. So these are expensive. If this is for you, it could be something you use every single day kind of thing. And like, you wouldn't even know you're using it. It's so weird, this amphibian skin. Like, I feel like you're not actually dipping into the product. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening. I just don't feel like it's ever going to run out. Like, I don't know. Anyway, that's over-promising for sure, but like it doesn't feel like you're picking any product up. It like a little goes forever. Then, you know, get your 15% off. That was one really long thought. Y'all, I gotta get off camera. I love that it's kind of like a little holiday lip moment, even though like that is definitely not a red lip. And again, that was Parkside 138. I'll list everything down below in case you're interested. I just like y'all being here and watching and submitting your questions so that I can be goofy silly with y'all. And I love you. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up. If you are not yet subscribed, cool people subscribe. Subscribe if you're cool. Be very cool if you did. I'll put a video here that I think that you are going to enjoy. If you enjoyed this one, I love you very, very much. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye.